Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space in my backyard. I know I look like winter and it is fall, but when I tell y'all, see, and she looking like summer back there, right? Okay, but when I tell y'all that I do not like the cold, I do not like the cold. Like, I don't want to feel the cold at all. But anyway, I'm going to do a quick garden tour. So I did a garden tour about 2 weeks ago. There is a lot of new growth. And so I think that it's a great time to show you just how fast your plants can grow once you get them started. So let's go ahead and take a look around together at the garden close to the end of October. Okay, so I want to start in the flower bed. So let me do a little pan for you. And without me in a little bit of it. So look at the snapdragons, y'all. Like, I'm loving the growth on the snapdragons. Snapdragons grow pretty tall. So once these start to grow, I think it's gonna be beautiful. And the calendula has turned into a nice little bunch of greenery. Not seeing too many flower buds, but the plants are looking really good. And calendula will overwinter in 7B. And then we have the beautiful pansies. I have a few different colors. I see the purple. Here it goes. There's purple. There's a few different pansy colors down here. But you know, I normally don't start in the flower bed because I struggle with the flower bed. In summer, I overplanted it. And now it's moving kind of slow. But we've also had some warmer weather. But I'm so excited for the snapdragons to be growing. So just a quick pan down here. This is borage that self-sowed itself. This is also another borage. That's a hollyhock. That's going to die back. And then all the way across the back are all of the snapdragons. So this side doesn't get as much sun as that side, which is why I think I'm getting more blooms on that side. The chrysanthemums look pretty bad. I don't know what I did wrong. This is my first year trying to grow chrysanthemums, but still, it's a nice little thing of greenery in there. And then there's more pansies, beautiful colored pansies. If you remember this bed, if you look back in my other video, you can see a lot of the soil. But I have since moved this trellis. But we have cilantro that's growing really good. I probably need to come out here and harvest it so that it can, you know, start growing again. But the cilantro is growing really good. All the way down the beds, in these beds, I have nasturtium, pansies, and cilantro on the sides, and they're growing. I had some volunteer nasturtiums. That's a volunteer seed, must have fallen during summer. And then there's some right here. The broccoli is looking really good. The Brussel sprouts are getting better. They were shaded a bit by the trellis, but I think it'll all kind of even out as the season goes along. There's Swiss chard in this bed. And so yesterday when I came home, because I have had a busy week at work and I haven't actually seen the garden in the daytime since like maybe Tuesday. So everything needed to be watered. And so this stuff is starting to, you know, pep back up. Interesting little thing is this cabbage was looking, and it's still looking pretty bad, but it's also trying to head up. I'm leaving it, see what happens. All of this is cabbage that's starting to head up. I saw the white moth caterpillar on here, so that's probably where some of this is coming from, but it was not a slug or a snail. This one is also heading. That one is trying. And then we have some calendula mixed in there as well. There's 2 calendula plants. And then you also have turnips. That's a nice size one down there. There's a few turnips growing in this section. See if I can show you. There's another one back there. So pretty excited at how this bed is going. You can eat turnip leaves. So if I wanted to, I could take some of these leaves off and start to eat them. I'm waiting for everything to get a frost, and then I'm going to start eating the greens. And so the bed right beside it is somewhat mirrored to the bed that I just showed you. These are Brussel sprouts, and they're not looking as thick as they should, or as I've seen them look on other channels, but I'm still going to leave them because they're still growing. The broccoli rabe is still huge and blocking the sun on those Brussels sprouts more than likely, but they are growing. And then this is all broccoli too. So the garden's looking really good. I saw the little broccoli starting in here. See it? Very small, but it's in there and it's starting. There's cabbages over here as well. And so that one is starting to head. It's a loose head, but it's a head. And calendula. These cabbages, this one looks good, not heading that much. This one was planted out a little bit later, so it makes perfect sense. Also, the rutabaga, y'all. I'm so excited because I didn't successfully grow rutabaga last year, but the rutabaga is also starting to grow. Planted a little close together, but I hear that you can do that. So I'm going to see what happens. The snapdragons in this bed are starting to bloom too. Beautiful. I love snapdragons. And the echinacea that I cut down is still there as well. I have finally cut down the asparagus. So a lot of it was dying. A lot of it was drying out. Like, it was drying out. So I went ahead and cut it down. And I'm going to let those compost in place. So there's a thing, I cannot think of the name of it, but it's an asparagus bug that could live in these. But last year I did the same thing. My asparagus came back just fine. And so I'm going to leave it. It's kind of like mulching the bed, but I'm mulching it with itself. Now over to the bed. It's right beside the trellis that is growing the loofah. This is my kale. My collards, cauliflower, collards, kale. This is a curly kale. That's the one that had gotten eaten down. I'm telling you all, just leave it for a few minutes and it might come back, because that's what I did with that. These are radishes that don't seem to be taking off very quickly, but I'm gonna leave them anyway. And then of course we all know I am horrible at growing beets. So those are the little beet plants that did decide to at least pop up out the soil. The red Russian kale is looking magnificent. I can't wait to eat that. These are cauliflower, which probably look better than any cauliflower I've grown. So I'm keeping my hopes up on those. And then that's another Brussels sprout. I'm really hoping my Brussels sprouts start to look a bit different because I'm feeling like I'm not going to be successful with those this year. The peppers are still here. I have not had a chance to cut them down and overwinter them. They are over there too. So my shishito peppers, I have eaten some of these this week, but I'm not sure if I'll get another harvest off of them. They were good as long as they lasted. This is a orange pepper, and there are so many peppers still on this plant. You see them? So before we get our frost, because we never did get our frost, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest those, and then I'll just keep them in the refrigerator, or maybe I will freeze them until we can use them, because I will cook with them. I just don't really like eat them. I use them for flavor. Let's talk about the middle bed that's full of collards and kale and Swiss chard. There's also some nasturtiums down there, but that bed is looking amazing. There's onions in the front. I do think they're doing that well. I may have planted them out too early, and I may have also watered too much. I think I need to give them their own little space, so I may grow them in bags. I'll probably start them from seed since I still have a little bit of time. The carrots are looking magnificent, and I don't even know why I'm still telling y'all, but I never did thin this bag of carrots, the one that had a lot of germination. I never did. Hopefully I can get out here this week. But I also have noticed where people, oh wow, look at that guy. Gotta watch your hands. It's a caterpillar, but I don't want to touch him still. But I've seen where people let them grow too close, and then they thin them later, and then they get some small carrots, and then they give the other carrots room to grow. So you can kind of get two. Why are you letting her run around my garden? Stop it. Puppy, no. Puppy, no. Go. Please go. Yeah, she definitely coming back. So, the blueberry bushes are looking good. We got a little bit of redness on this one, and it may be the color of the leaves or it may be some kind of deficiency. I'm gonna look it up, but they're looking good still. I know I'm supposed to prune them, and I have never pruned them because they're all very new, like 2 years old. And so I'm gonna look into that in the off season to make sure that I am doing what I should do as it relates to them so that I can get a good berry harvest once I make sure I cover next year. So now we're over to the bed that I said I wasn't gonna plant in, and I'm glad that I decided to go against what I said I was gonna do, because these are kohlrabi, and you can see they're starting to make their bulbs. These are cabbages planted out even later than the cabbages in the other bed, so they're still working to get their footing, but the leaves and stuff look good. And guess what? We are getting fall strawberries. Like, I'm not sure that happened last year. And there are a good amount of flowers still coming on these plants. So I'm excited to see that. I haven't happened to me before. So I'm excited about that. Maybe they're getting established like they should, and they're started to produce as they would normally produce. Pretty happy about that. And so we still have the mint just doing its thing, and that's exactly what I'm gonna let it do, is do its thing. If you remember, I cut them back to the soil, they all came back, and that's pretty much what I'm doing, letting it do its thing. I think this is orange mint. It smells delicious. Like, I wish you could smell it. It smells really good. The chamomile looks like it's trying to grow. I probably should get these weeds out of there with it, but I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, the chamomile is growing. The feverfew, I still never got around to harvesting it. But I will be harvesting that and drying it because I do want to keep it for medicinal purposes. I never got around to putting the bed in, and therefore the compost is still sitting there too, but I'm gonna hopefully get around to that this weekend. So this is still the pepper plants that I pulled out. So that's what that is on top of the box. Over here, I just said how wonderful my plants were doing without mulch. And then look at that. Something has been eating it. And I haven't been able to get out in the garden in the daytime, so I haven't been able to pick anything. But that one back there is looking immaculate, and right there. And then we have Swiss chard over here. It's not doing the best, but we'll see. Some kale. This is all broccoli, looking better, planted much later than the ones over in the bed. Also, this bed doesn't get as much sun as those plants get over there, but I think I will still get a decent harvest out of these. And then there's 2 kohlrabi back here. And my dahlias are still going strong with a whole bunch of blooms. I sure do hope the frost stays away long enough for them to go ahead and finish blooming. But look how big those plants have gotten since I removed the sunflowers. Like, these were pretty shaded by the sunflowers. They were very close. But yeah, look at that. Very big, beautiful, healthy looking plants. I love that. There's a little bit of basil still growing. I haven't been harvesting or anything. I'm just letting it grow because it's still growing, but I haven't been using it, and I'm surprised it hasn't gone to flower yet, but that's some basil. And last but not least are the beans. The almost non-existent beans, but you can see them. I did get like 7 or 8 off of there yesterday. So they're still producing, which is why I'm still leaving the plant. So that wasn't the last. I forgot all about the artichokes over here. By the way, look, I got some straw flowers. The last minute, they are so pretty. I mean, just beautiful. I do love a straw flower. I should have planted more this year. I think I was having an issue with germination, and that's why I didn't. But that is so pretty. And so the artichokes are looking good. Still growing, still green. So that is a plus. So thanks for watching. I hope that everyone has enjoyed their week. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. There's the girl. And I will be here tomorrow, hopefully without this coat on. I hope it's warmer tomorrow to talk about how I start my compost pile.
I want to say something.
She wants to say something.
So we're going to Chick-fil-A in a few. We're going to Chick-fil-A in a few. And we're also going to be going to some places this weekend, like JCPenney's and stuff. So yeah.
JC Penney's.
Yeah.
So basically, she told me that I've been doing too much. And so my whole weekend will be devoted to her. And we will be doing stuff. I asked her for a schedule. She got nothing. So we'll just be out and about hanging out. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram at Miss MS Asia Spratley, where I post about the things going on in the garden every day. Thanks. Bye.